It's Monday, October 8th. Welcome to Pastor Bob Daily. My friend Nathan on Facebook says, "Yo, Pastor Bob." Yo, Nathan. I have this friend who used to go to my church. He switched churches because he didn't like what my church was preaching. Basically about recruiting Christians with love. He switched churches because he wants to hear a message about recruiting Christians with fear rather than love. I was wondering if you might do a video about this. I am really happy to do a video about this, Nathan, because this is an issue that is close to my heart. You know, there are too many churches out there. First of all, recruiting. Now, I know this isn't all of your question, and it may even be misinterpreting your question a bit, but I want to go on a tangent, and I'll answer this as well. You know, 10% of the people who come to a church as visitors are actually new to the church community. 90% are from another church. And people continue to go from one church to another church to another church to another church because they can't find anything they're happy with. And you may well be in that group of people. And you know, folks, it's kind of sad, isn't it? Because the church is supposed to be about establishing long-term relationships. People that know you well, people that can speak into your life. And when you continue to go from one church to the next church to the next church, you don't find that. In fact, you just find frustration because you really don't get to know people very well. Now, one of the greatest opportunities we have as Christians is to encourage one another. We've been talking about that. And when you encourage one another, a wonderful thing happens. You begin to grow in your faith, and you begin to grow emotionally, spiritually, mentally. You know, it's a wonderful thing when that begins to happen. But when you continue to go from one to the next, you don't grow very well because you don't get connected. Now, it isn't just about being connected to a building, it's about being connected to people. And some of you are saying, you know, I can't find a church, I can't find a place where I can really fit in. And you know, all of us have friends that we click with. Why don't you invite them over and begin something yourself? That doesn't mean that you can't still go to a church with four walls on Sunday, but it does mean that you have a relationship with people that works, that you feel great about, that you can connect with. And if you don't have that kind of connection, make it happen. Even if it's just inviting people over to your house and making sure that you stay connected with those people who are your good friends. Well, let me get back to Nathan's question here. He's talking about a friend who switched churches because he'd rather hear a message about fear rather than love. And sometimes we have an agenda with our faith. And Nathan, I'm sure this bothers you, but it bothers a lot of people. You see, there's a growing trend in our churches to become more and more legalistic. What happens to a person who is, and we've talked about this before, who's kind of a bully, who has a very negative outlook on the world? Many times when they become a Christian, they become that kind of Christian. The kind that bullies, the kind that wants to hear about fear and condemnation rather than love. And folks, it isn't fear and condemnation that changes us, not our hearts. It may change our minds in a certain direction, but it never changes our hearts. And that's why the Bible's central theme is about love. Because God knows that it's love that actually changes our hearts and makes us into a new person altogether. Now that's what we want to do. We want to become a new creation in Jesus Christ. So that's why this is so important. When you speak to people, folks, you don't speak with an agenda, you speak with a transparency. You speak from the person that you are. Who is that? A person who's been transformed by the love of Jesus Christ. Well, that's our good news. And if we have any news at all, if we have any message at all, it's that one. It's love. and the transformation that happens when we accept Christ's love inside. So make it happen. Don't just get along with condemnation, or if you're in one of those churches, folks, consider going to something else. You're not stuck anywhere. I know I've just talked about church hopping, but I'm really talking about connecting with people that can encourage you in the right directions and fulfill your life. And that's important. And when you have those, and most of us have some of those people around us, connect with them and make sure you keep them. It's important. God bless you. Have a great day.